Hey everyone, welcome back. So today is Tuesday. Hope you're having a great day. Obviously the markets are up, and not only the stock market, but the crypto markets are up as well. Bitcoin's up, Ethereum is up. A lot of the miners are up as well. So it's been a good day in the markets in general. And there's a couple of reasons for why. We have Russia obviously possibly removing their troops, and we have also some news from Canada that they're doing something a little crazy, but we'll get into it as well, which is helping Bitcoin to go up in price. We'll also look at the polls that I'm doing, obviously, for the miners, which one to cover next. And we got Mawson news. They reported their January numbers, so we'll take a look at that as well. And Hive provided their numbers for Q3. And I was way off on my estimates. I was off by like 20-some million, actually, as far as revenue goes. So we'll take a look at that, why I was off. I know why I was off, but we'll get into it. So as always, this is not financial advice, for entertainment only. Do your own research, please. Don't fall for scams. Spam posts get reported and deleted. These are the companies that I am invested in and coins that I own. But first, we'll get into the miners here, see how they did on the day, and then we'll get into the stories. So here we go. So Argo was up 3.63% today to $1. It is now battling with the 20-day moving average. Bitfarms was up 6.22% on the day to $4.10. And it is still above the 20-day moving average, which is good. CleanSpark was up huge today. It was up 18.58% to 1021. They're obviously continuing that run after they reported some great numbers last week as well for their quarter ending in December 2021. And then we got Core Scientific here, up 6.57 to 1054. They are now battling between, what is that, the 100-day moving average and the 50-day moving average. So we'll see how that plays out. DigiHost was up 7.84% on the day to $3.99. It is now down 4.76. DMG was up 7.28% to 51 cents. It is battling with the 20-day moving average as well. Hive obviously reported their earnings today, so they were up huge to start out the day with. Came down a little bit and then finished out the day pretty strong. They were up obviously 10.5% to $22.21. Hut 8 was up 7.11% to 738. And it is battling with the 50-day moving average, and right now it's staying above it, which is a good sign to see. So we'll see how that plays out. And then we got Iris Energy. Iris was up 2.98% to 1452. And they are still staying up above the 50-day moving average, which is also good to see. Then we got Marathon. Marathon was up nicely as well today, up 12.05% to 2863. And then we got Mawson. Mawson was up 2.27% to $4.51. And they are battling with the 20-day moving average right now. They are just slightly below it. And then we got finally Riot at up 10.10% to 1973 today, and they are getting close to battling with the 50-day moving average again. So we'll see how that plays out with that. Okay, so let's get into the stories here. So, let's get into, we'll take a look at Bitcoin and Ethereum, and then we'll get into the stories. So Bitcoin, obviously, yesterday we talked about it here, pumped pretty hard, trying to figure out what was happening there. And we got the news that obviously Canada reported what they reported, and we'll talk about that. But obviously continued to pump throughout the day today. And obviously we tried another pump here a little bit in the last hour or so. And we came up and touched our resistance here at 44,750 roughly. And we'll see how this plays out. Right now it touched it, and then it got basically rejected from it. So we'll see if it can muster the strength to get above it. We'll see if there's more buyers in the market than there are sellers. But right now it's looking pretty good on it. RSI has obviously come down, which is good to see as well. It's been trading kind of flat here in the last couple of hours, about 8 to 10 hours or so. But the RSI has continued to go down, which is a good sign that we may have room to go back up higher. So this is looking really good on Bitcoin right now. If we look at Ethereum, Ethereum is also up nicely, and it is above the 50-day moving average right now, which is the green line here. And that's also good to see. And we're looking at the 1-hour chart here on this one. So we'll see how this plays out. RSI has obviously also come down in the last couple of hours from trading, and which is also a good sign to see that we do have room to run up, as we did run up in the last 2 hours, and now we're kind of doing a little pullback on the price here, possibly some profit taking a little bit. Let's take a look at the Bitcoin network hash rate, and we can see that it is continuing to go up. And this is the 7-day average here. This is last reported was on February 13th, so this is a little bit outdated here. Hopefully we can get some more recent updates on this. I don't know why it's only going to the last, even if I reload it, should normally catch up. But on the 30-day averages, you can obviously see the line is just going straight up, and it's going to continue doing that pretty much throughout the rest of the year, I believe. All right, so the first one is obviously the polls. So right now in the polls that I'm doing, Greenedge and Stronghold are the two top ones that are being chosen by you guys. And then from the previous poll that we did, we had obviously Annie was the winner there, followed by Luxofolio and Bit Digital. So those three will be included in the final battle between probably Greenedge and Stronghold, unless this changes here in the next day or so. And then we'll put out the final poll with the 5 combined: Greenedge, Stronghold probably, and then Bit Digital, Annie, and Luxfolio. So we'll do that. All right, let's get into Bitcoin here really quick. So Bitcoin hits 44K after Canada emergency powers accompany 6% BTC price increase. So this is kind of interesting here. So plans to include crypto and enhanced surveillance by Canadian governments have unintended knock-on effect of fueling unstoppable money, right? So for every action, there's a equal and opposite reaction. So Bitcoin opted for a fresh upside on February 15th as a trip to near 40,000 saw an abrupt change in direction. So we saw that yesterday, obviously, and it continued on today. RSI prints classic bull signal. So data from Cointelegraph Markets Pro and TradingView showed BTC gaining swiftly overnight into Tuesday, going on to past 44,000. A classic relative strength index breakout, this time on the lower 4-hour time frame, preceded the move, which put the pair a full 6% higher versus Monday's lows. So we got Matthew Highland here tweeting Bitcoin 4-hour RSI broke out, and MACD just had a bullish cross. So those are good signs there. So we'll see how this continues on. Here's a quote from popular Twitter account Phoenix, which commented, "I do think these are the first signs of a trend break." So this was, I believe he tweeted this today. It added that reaching and holding 45,500 would be absolutely key for bulls. This marking last week's high, which it was. So if we can get up to that and holding that, that will be great. Right now, we're trying to get to that point. The uptick appeared to have an external trigger as part of an ongoing events in Canada's Freedom Convoy protest. The government announced that it would expand anti-money laundering surveillance to cover crypto transactions. So here's a quote from that. So these changes cover all forms of transactions, including digital assets and cryptocurrencies. Canadian Deputy Prime Minister Chrystia Freeland said at a press conference. And the protest had long been a topic of heated debate in Bitcoin and cryptocurrency circles in light of highly controversial actions by crowdfunding platforms GoFundMe and subsequent hack of Give, Send, Go, the alternative used to send donations to protest participants. So basically what they're trying to do is figure out a way to stop money going to the people that are protesting. Obviously, the people that are protesting are probably not getting paid to do that. So, these people are trying to help fund those protests, which I think it's a freedom of speech, right, when you're protesting. So I think they wouldn't go this extreme and try to put a stop to it. So meanwhile, Bitcoin services began to step up on offer continued support to the movement, among them the open source BTC payment gateway. So they tweeted here, "Dear all, we got you covered. Learn how to set up crowdfunding campaign while enjoying the mellow voice of Pavlin next." And then you obviously have the president of El Salvador tweeted, Nayib Bukele, "Are these the people who like to give lessons to other countries about democracy and freedom? This is one of the top ranking countries in the democracy index." So obviously Canada. "Your credibility on these topics is now worth zero." So you can watch this whole video if you like, but this is basically them stepping up saying that, they're going to track it and try to put a stop to people money laundering and anti-terrorism actions. So I guess if you're a protester now, you're considered a terrorist possibly, which is just crazy. Let me see what else we have here. And I think that's it for this. This also coincides with Russia saying that they're going to withdraw troops from the Ukrainian border possibly, or some troops, not all. I don't know exactly how many they're going to do. But I think that's also fueling the fire in Bitcoin a little bit as well, that there's a little bit less of a concern of possible all-out war between Ukraine and Russia. So that's obviously good news as well. All right, so let's get into Mawson here, and then we'll get into Hive, and we'll call it a day. All right. So Mawson Infrastructure Group Inc. announced January 2022 Bitcoin production and operational update. So thank you to Mawson. They obviously kept their word. They said they were going to provide their update on the 15th, which they did. So thank you to them. Let's take a look at the numbers here. So Bitcoin self-mining update in January 2022. Mawson produced 140 Bitcoin, which is great. January average hash rate at approximately 0.09 exahash. And then January ended of the month hash rate at approximately 1.1 exahash. So that's pretty close to what I have them right now. February end of the month hash rate expected to be 1.35. So a nice 2.5 exahash growth rate, producing an approximate 6.5 Bitcoins per day. So that's obviously great news as well. So Luna Square's hosting co-location update, 2 megawatt of hosting online in January. Pipeline of industrial scale hosting co-location customers continue to grow. So that's good to see as well. Operational update, Midland, Pennsylvania facilities, civil works ongoing. First modular data centers with full complement of Bitcoin miners expected to be online in March of 2022, so within a month. And then Sanderville, Georgia facility, 60 megawatt expansion ongoing with additional 13 MDCs to be deployed in February. Okay, so that's really good. So that's this month. And then Australian facility expansion ongoing with civil works, continuing transformers arriving in February, and an additional 7 MDCs expected on site in March, with the facility expected to be fully online by April 2022. So that's great as well. So Mawson expects Bitcoin self-mining to be at 3.35 exahash by Q2 of 2022. So within the next 4 to 5 months, I'm guessing, and target of 5 exahash online by early Q1 2023. Reiterate. So I have them at approximately, I think it's, we'll take a look at it, but I think I have them at close to 4, I think. Maybe it is 5. I'll have to look at it. I can't remember now. But overall, good progress, good things to see. Obviously, we want to see growth in these companies, and Mawson is providing it, so that's good. Good to see. And so let's take a look at the numbers I have here for Mawson really quick. We got Hive open, but we got Mawson right there. So I have them at 3 exahash right now of reported miners that I have for them, unless I'm missing something. So if you guys have something on that, whether ordered more miners to come in by the end of the year or into next year, I'd be happy to see it. But currently, obviously, I have it at 1.1. Roughly, I have them at 1098. So that's really close to what they have. And we have them making approximately for January, basically 6.2 million of revenue on the Bitcoin mining, running 31 days on each of these, and then 15 and 7 on these miners here that we're getting installed. For February, right now, we're looking at possibly 6.425 million. Obviously, there's less days in February, so that's a little bit less that they're going to be mining in that time frame. So that's why the income is down there. But I still have them at 1162, possibly with the prior 3 quarters, and then this quarter here, January, February, March, would be roughly at 33. And then obviously that's going to grow possibly because they are going to be increasing their hash rate. So I'm sure that's going to grow anyways. But we have them at 1162 at 75% net income from gross revenue using a price to earnings multiple of 20. And that would still give us the sign that they are way undervalued right now at 451 based on that information that we have here. And a lot of these miners are actually undervalued from what we have, where they should be and where they are right now. So we'll have to see how this all plays out. Obviously, they are 36% operational right now from the future hash rate. And we'll obviously see if they purchase more miners to get them up to the 5 exahash they want to get to by what did they report? Q2 of 2023. So yeah, so otherwise, good update on Mawson from January. Nice increase, and we'll see how they continue to do. But right now, they are undervalued in my opinion. All right, so let's take a look at Hive. So Hive obviously announced record quarterly revenue of 68 million, up 397% from the same quarter last year, and earnings for our third quarter ended December 31, 2022. So congrats to Hive. I had them down way lower. We'll take a look at it, and I know why. But for the 3 months period, revenue rose. We got the information here. Revenue rose to 68.2 million, up 30% compared with the last quarter and 397% since the same quarter last year. Net income reached 64.2 million, up 7% from last quarter and 273. So outstanding quarter. They did a great job on this. Let me see here. So Hive's combined liquid BTC and Ethereum had a gross value of 168 million, up 11x from 15 million a year ago, ended December 31. Hive ended the current December quarter holding 1,813 Bitcoin worth 83.1 million and 23,290 Ether worth 84.9 million. So that is really nice. Let's see if there's anything here. Let me see, Darcy. Okay. So highlights, generated revenue from digital currency mining of 68.2 million with a gross mining margin of 61.7 million. They mined 697 Bitcoin and over 7,126 Ethereum during the 3 months period ended December 31st. Earned a net income of 64.2 million for the period. Working capital increased to 141.2 million during the 3 months ended. And then digital currency assets of 168 million, so that's great. So outstanding quarter by them. They did a fantastic job getting that. We obviously want to see more growth from them. They've been kind of slow getting miners in. Let's see, what else do we have here? All right, let's take a look at the numbers. So revenue from digital currency mining, 68.183 million. In Q2, we had 52, so continued nice increases in that. We obviously want to continue to see that. We'll obviously see how Q4 now, I guess, that we're in for them, which was January through March, how that's going to play out, because where Bitcoin price has obviously come down compared to where it was in that quarter in Q3. Operating and maintenance, so 6.5 million, which is good. It's actually lower than it was in Q2, which is outstanding. They did a great job there. Depreciation, obviously, I think that's just on the miners and possibly the coin value. Or no, coin value would be depreciation this time around. I think that's just on their older units that they're sidelining. Gross mining margin, 61.5 million compared to 45 million, so that's great. Huge increase there. Gross mining margin, 90%, which is fantastic. So they were at 86 the quarter prior, 90% now. That's great to see. Revaluation gain of digital currencies. Okay, so they made here 4 million basically on revaluation. Gain on sale of digital currencies. So they sold some. That was the 7.9 million. So I think that was mostly Ethereum that they sold. Hosting revenue. So they do have some hosting revenue that went down, and it seems like it's continued to go down ever since Q1. They had 1.7 million, then 0.953 million, and then 0.66 million. So that's continuing to go down. I think it's based on them doing their own hosting, basically their own mining. Share-based compensation, 1.6. Okay, slight increase, not bad. I'm fine with that. Obviously, a decrease from here, which is great to see. General expenses increased a little bit by 200,000 or so. Not bad. For foreign exchange gain loss, so that actually was a little bit lower than the previous quarter, so that's good. And then unrealized loss gain on investment, so 11.8 million on that. Change in fair value of derivatives, financial. Otherwise, yeah, I mean, what more could you ask for? They're growing, and that's a good sign, but we wanted to see that continue. Right, we didn't see much of an increase in hash rate in January, and I would have liked to have seen that a little bit more. So we'll see how February comes in March, see how they're able to get the miners in and get those installed and get the hash rate growing, because we're seeing the hash rate of Bitcoin go up. We need to have the same amount of hash rate, if not more, to keep up with it, basically. Because if you don't keep up with it, you're going to start earning less and less on your machines. So they got to get more installed. Otherwise, congrats to Hive team. They did a great job. Let's take a look at the numbers that I have for them, and we'll compare some things here. So I had them at, where is it? Hive. So for the third quarter, I had them at 47.6 million, and that is mainly because I was using the quarterly price of Bitcoin. So you can see I was using quarterly pricing from January to March, April, June, July to September, October to December, and I was using the ending price of Bitcoin of 46,000, which was at the end of December. But we did have obviously a couple months here where it was a lot better. So in October was 61,000. At the end of October, at the end of November was at 56,000 and 46,211 at the end of December. So if we use those three numbers combined, we would have gotten a lot higher numbers, and that's why I have since switched to going by month, because we can track the price a lot better of Bitcoin here and how many miners they have installed. So we can track everything a lot better. So we're tracking the price of Bitcoin, the average hash rate, start hash rate, end hash rate. We're getting an average hash rate. So we're able to track that a lot better, I think, going forward. So we should be a lot better. Obviously, I was way off on my estimates here, but it's actually good that I was off on the low side instead of the high side. I'd rather be on the low and get a nice surprise that they outperformed even my own thoughts. So this is great. 68.1 compared to 47.6. So 21 million higher than I expected. So the other thing is that I have to figure out is how to calculate the Ethereum mining a little bit better. I have to do a little bit more research onto how many miners they have, the speed that they have on those miners, to be able to figure out how much they're actually making on Ethereum. And Ethereum, I'm going to have to probably track monthly as well, see what the price was, the hash rate was, in order to get maybe a better pricing on that. So that's something I'm going to probably work on in the coming weeks, months, and hope to get that figured out. It's not an easy task to tackle. But obviously, we had Hive running for 27 days. Some miners for 20 days. They did say that we're shutting down for a couple of days when it was extremely cold up in Canada, to help with the electricity going to to basically people's homes and things like that, instead of to run the miners. So we do know that. And they do have quite a bit of miners still left to get installed. And let me see here. So going forward, right now, I have them at 15.8 million for January. Based on these numbers here, and these could be maybe a day higher here, 27, 28 days. So it's going to be pretty close to that, what they reported. And then obviously in February, we got 28 days only. So it's going to be a shorter month, obviously. So we got them at 17.3 for 2 million. And that is based on, obviously, these miners here being the ones that were 20 days that were getting installed in January are going to be running for a full month. So we got a little bit more revenue here. So currently, if everything stays where it's at, we got them at basically 51 million. But if Bitcoin goes up in the next month and a half or something, that could obviously change because Bitcoin price is going to go up. They are getting more miners installed. But regardless, we have them at, right now, the last 3 quarters is 158 million. And then so combined with this quarter, we would have them at 226 million roughly. Using the 75% net income from gross revenue with the price to earnings multiple of 20, they should be at 651. It looks like their current price to earnings multiple is 7.5, which is pretty low. Even if we go down, let me see if we can go down. Yeah, we can go down a little bit. Even at 10, it should be around 326, so still way undervalued. But I would think as Bitcoin goes up, I'm pretty sure that this price to earnings multiple is going to go up. It always does. When Bitcoin's going down, everything's going down. But overall, great quarter by Hive. Congrats to those guys. Did a fantastic job on it. We'll obviously have to see how they grow going forward. We do have them at 47% operational right now from future hash rate to current hash rate. And this is obviously not including their GPU mining, which they reported last for January was around 1 exahash or something like that, 1.03 exahash. So combined, we have them at 2.9 exahash if you use the GPU exahash as well for that. So overall, very nice job by them. Let me know if you guys have any questions. And as always, the spreadsheet is going to be available to Patreon members later on today. If you want to have access to it there, you're more than welcome to get it there. I always update those whenever I do any updates or videos. Those get updated as well. So let me know what you guys thought of the quarter. Obviously, I think Hive still has a ways to go. CleanSpark has done a fantastic job as well. They reported great numbers last week. And I think if Bitcoin continues to go up, these guys are going to go up tremendously as well. So that's a good sign. But right now, nothing's really valued the way it should be, in my opinion. So let me know what you guys thought of it. So, all right, that's it. If you enjoyed the video, hit the like button, subscribe, and notification bell. Helps me out tremendously, and that's all I ask from you guys. So we'll see what's going on tomorrow in the markets and see if there's any other news. Oh, we'll also do the miner versus miner video, see where each of the guys stack up against each other. Based on the latest January numbers, since we have all of those now. So that's kind of interesting. So we'll do that probably video tomorrow or on Thursday. All right, so that's it. Thanks so much for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Have a great night. I'll see you guys in the next one. Until then, bye.